So here's the situation. You're ready to go. Your podcast is set. You got your episode ready. Your artwork is done. And you finally got over the Apple loop fix. And now you're ready to submit your RSS feed to Apple Podcasts. So you go in, send them your RSS feed, and then they review it, and you get some generic, vague rejection about something about your image. And they don't really tell you what the issue is. Chances are it's going to come down to the file size of your image. And in this video, I'm going to show you how to reduce the file size without reducing the quality. So Apple Podcasts has a few requirements when it comes to your image. It has to be a minimum of 1400 by 1400 pixels with a max of 3000 by 3000. Has to be a square, RGB color space, 72. There's a whole bunch of requirements. Most of the time it's fine, and it really comes down to the file size. They don't really list it, but Apple wants it below around like 550, 525. I usually aim for like 500 kilobytes, which is pretty small. But this tip can be used for all things on the web for your website. The faster your page loads, the better you rank on Google, and images are one of the big bottlenecks. So if you can reduce your image size for everything, you'll be better off. So in this video, I'm going to show you how to do that. I'm going to show you how to do that in Photoshop and in GIMP. So if you don't have Photoshop and you don't want to pay for expensive photo editing software, GIMP is a great choice because it's free. So I'm going to start with Photoshop. So if you're here just for GIMP, go ahead and jump to this timestamp and I'll meet you there. Now, if you're here for Photoshop, let's go. So I've chosen this image because this is a really difficult image to work with. For one, it's a human face, which has a lot of detail. The more detail, the more color, the bigger the file size is. And with this one, you see there's a gradient, which means that each pixel is a different color than the one previously, which results in a huge file. For example, this one is over 11 megabytes, but we're going to get that down to below 500. So the easiest way to do that is to lower the image quality. And we can do that without actually reducing noticeably the quality of the image. So in Photoshop, go to File, Export, Export As, and wait. There we go. So this is our starting point. If you notice, it starts out at 10 megabytes, and just by switching it to JPEG, it comes down to 4.6. So JPEG is a smaller file size, and just by doing that, you take off a lot. But it's still not anywhere near where we need it to be. So let's jump to quality. And for almost every image, you can get away with 80% quality and not really see a difference. Yeah, did you see anything? I didn't. And now we're down to 2.6 megabytes. So let's just see how low we can go. Let's go down to 50 and see what that looks like. Still not that much of a difference, but if we zoom in, and you're really going to see it up here. So let's go ahead and just bring that down quite a bit so you can kind of see what you're looking at. So if you see right here, you start seeing these like waves in the image, and that's what we want to avoid. So let's go ahead and take it up to, let's say, 71%. Yeah, you can see that's pretty much gone. We're still at 2 megabytes, but it's still looking pretty good. So let's go down a little bit lower. Let's try 65. So let's just try 50%. And at 50% quality, you still can't really see a difference compared to 100%. But because there's so much detail, we're still coming in at 1.3 megabytes. So let's go ahead and try to take that down. Let's try 2500. Now, if you remember, we need to keep it above 1400, but no more than 3000. So as long as we're a square image somewhere in there, we'll be fine. So let's try 2000. Okay, so let's just take it down to 1400. Not ideal. Okay, so that's 317 kilobytes. So let's see how high we can get it. Let's try 1800. 516, so let's try 17. Okay. So we can get it to 1750 pixels at 50% and not see any difference in the quality of the image. So just for comparison, this is 50% and that's 100%. Can you see difference? I can't. So we're going to go ahead and export this. Change the name to something else. So we're going to say reduced. Save. And there we go. Now, take a look at this. This is side by side of the original and the reduced version. So take a look. Can you see a difference in the quality or not? Let me know. And even if you can, does it look bad? Because this image is going to be a thumbnail on your phone or somewhere else. You'll rarely see the full size image. So even if you do see a little bit of degradation, it's not that big of a deal. But more importantly, this image is going to get approved by Apple Podcasts. Now, thank you so much for watching. If you found this useful and you see somebody else that's struggling with the same thing, send them a link to this video so that way you can help them out. Just send them to rothmedia.audio/Apple Image Fix and it'll take them right to this video. All right. Thanks so much for watching. Now, if you're just joining us because you want to use GIMP, welcome back. So we're going to go through the same process I did with Photoshop, but show you how to do it in GIMP, a free video editing software. So let's hop over to GIMP. So this is the image that we're going to be working with. And I chose this image because of the amount of detail. So it's a human face, which has a lot of detail. And it also has a gradient, which means that each pixel is going to be a different color than the one before it, resulting in a much larger file size. For example, this one is over 11 megabytes, but we're going to get it down to under 500. And there are two ways to do that. Reduce the resolution of the image to something smaller and reduce the quality of the image. So I'm going to start with reducing the quality of the image because I want to keep the picture as big as I can. And if we can maintain that 3000 by 3000 resolution and still get to under 500, that's going to be ideal. So let's start by doing that and see where we get. So go to File, Export As, and in here, let's go ahead and change it to, we'll just add reduced. And then you need to change the extension to JPG and click export. And that's going to pop up this window here where we can control the settings of the JPEG image. So what you want to do is click show preview in image window. And that's going to give you this little preview. We'll get rid of this and then bring back this bad boy. And as you can see, just by changing it to a JPEG and reducing the quality to 90%, we've already got the file size down to 2 megabytes, which is huge. So let's go ahead and start reducing the quality and see where we get. So let's just go crazy and take it all the way down and see what happens. Yikes. So you can see it simplified it way too much. So let's start bringing that back up. So even at 28%, you can see there's like these waves in the color that we don't want. So let's just take it up to 50%. Okay, so at 50%, it's not too bad. You can see a little bit of issues, a little bit of waves. Let's take it up to 60%. Okay, that's pretty good. So hopping back between 60 and 70, you can't really see a difference. So let's leave it at 60. So we got it at 60%, but we're still at 867 kilobytes, which is still too big. So we're going to have to adjust the size of the image in order to get it under 500. So we're going to cancel, bring back this. So here we need to go under image, scale image, and let's just take it down to 1800. So you can go back and forth adjusting the size to get under 500, but I know 1800 should get us there. So 1800, scale. All right, so let's go to File, Export As. Rename this again. Change the extension. All right, so show preview in image window. Get rid of this. Forget which one's which. So it's this one. All right, so now we're going to go back to 80%. All right, so at 80%, 1800, we got it under 500 kilobytes. So I'm going to call that good enough. If you want a bigger image, we could go back and maybe do 2000 and like 70% and kind of go back and forth. But hey, we achieved it. So export, and now we're all set. So here are both images side by side. We got the original and we got the reduced version. And if you can tell a difference, let me know. But even if you can tell a difference, it's going to be so minimal that's not really worth worrying about. And this is going to be a thumbnail on people's phones. You're rarely going to see it full size. So even if there is some degradation in the quality, it's not really worth worrying about. The most important thing is this image is going to make it through Apple's review process. And it's just that simple. If you found this useful and you know somebody else who's struggling with the same thing, send them this video. All you got to do is send them to rothmedia.audio/Apple Image Fix, and it'll take them right here. All right, thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.